Hello. Hi, Rita. Sorry, I'm just getting it. Shared to the who's or what's it? The Discord. You're the first one. You're the very first one. Okay. I am going to quickly put another coat on my nails. Also, I'm going to turn on my Kiskas. One more coat of blushed ice. Hello, hello. I would love to say I had a good weekend. Most of it was spent cleaning up vomit. We had a stomach flu hit our house. It wasn't the most fun I've ever had, if I'm going to be totally honest. So I hope everybody else had an excellent weekend. This is blushed ice. Going to make my nails pretty. I alternated. I'm gonna be completely honest. I would like go outside and get some work done in my garden, and then I'd come inside and pine sol my house and clean up the chaos. And then I'd go back out and work for a little bit, and then I'd wait until a child beckoned me, and then I would go back in and deal with whatever was happening and pine sol my house, and that was my weekend. Hello. Hi, Morgan. So I hope everybody else had a good weekend. I was able to do some fun things this weekend. It is not what my weekend was about, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. Ooh, go to a salon. I have bad luck getting my nails done at salons because they always try to put, well, they don't try to, they succeeded. Every time they put a gel top coat on, even though I say I'm allergic. And the last time I went, I had such a bad reaction that I'm now terrified to ever go back and get my nails done, because 3 times it's happened where I'm like, no gel, and they're like, but it makes it last longer, and I'm like, I'm allergic. No gel, no acrylic, no gel, just regular polish. And they're like, and they just do it anyways, and then they're like, they go to put it on, I'm like, no, I'm allergic. No, it's not gel, it's just a top coat. I'm like, okay, because I'm allergic. And they're like, yeah. And then they put it on, then they bring out the light, and they're like, okay, put it under here. And I'm like, this is a gel. It's a whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry you're having nail issues. I'm kind of low-key also having nail issues, but I'm ignoring them. My nail issues are just, they're dry, and I'm gardening, so I've cut them all short, and, you know, it's not really issues. My hands are just dry. You got to go roller skating? I've been rollerblading, but I don't think I've ever been roller skating. Well, mind you, I think I had those... Oh, my cord is hanging down. I think I had those Fisher-Price ones when I was a kid. I don't know if anybody remembers the Fisher-Price roller skates that, I don't know, every child in the 80s and 90s seems to have had. That's fun. Don't we love it when people are doing decorating at home? It could be worse. It could be the middle of the night, you know? My first apartment, I used to have this chick that lived below me that she would put on like early 90s rave music and clean every Sunday morning. Why did that all of a sudden just get so loud? Oh my god, that was freaky. Jay, I'm glad to see you got home safe. I can imagine that drive today must have been hella long. I'm glad to see you got home okay. Have a good sleep. We are just now starting to have some of the smoke from the wildfires coming in to central Alberta. So I think it's going to be quite smoky for the next little bit. Oh, well, I can imagine probably like from the smoke and stuff, it also is going to contribute to a headache. All yours are breaking. Oh, I'm sorry. Your nails are separating. I wonder. I wonder if there's something in one of the polishes that you're allergic to or you've developed an allergy to, I wonder. I wonder. Okay. Now, before we get going much further, I have I'm going to move this up a bit. There we go. I have a small confession to make. Small confession. Let's put on my glasses while I make this here confession. This is my confession. I'm not going to sing Usher. Don't worry. I'm not going to sing Usher. Oh, it's so wild, hey, how nails sometimes it's like bark on a tree, right? It can tell you a lot about what's going on. I forgot about this. I forgot about her. This is gonna be interesting. Scott, hello. You have a 1930s typewriter? That's very cool. That is so cool. So is the Big Bird. Who doesn't love Big Bird? All right, I don't know, friends. I don't know what's going on. If I smudged it already, it could be that I painted them and then just immediately started using them. Maybe that's not a good idea. Who can tell? I forgot it in here. So we're just gonna very gently remove it. We're just gonna I tell you what, that's a pretty damn blue. Oh, it's not showing up on screen. But I can assure you she is pretty. Can I make this brighter? It's as bright as she goes. Focus, damn it. I don't want to... Scared about removing the top layer. It's like this really beautiful deep blue. I want to see if I can try to keep that. It's very dark, but it's really pretty. Well, that's not bad. Oh, story recorder, that's so sweet. Yeah, it's like a peacock, kind of an indigo, very deep teal kind of a blue, and I really dig it. And it's one of those things you can like handle it too much and kind of like smudge it. And I don't want to do that if I can help it. That would be fun if we got to do a little bit of a reveal. That would be kind of fun. I feel like I haven't done a reveal in a hot minute. Maybe I'm not upset at myself for forgetting this in the die. Maybe it's gonna be okay. You never really know until we de-wax, right? You kind of never know what's going on with an egg. Oh yeah, see, I already smudged the center there. Maybe I can paint on a bit. It'll be okay. Oh, this looks so pretty. She looks nice. It isn't science yet. Science yet? Question mark. See, just this section, I don't know if you can't really see, but just this section, kind of right here in the middle, it's kind of lifted, I mean. I think I might try seeing if I can maybe paint a little bit on. Let's see if I can finagle this. Have a good sleep, Jay. Okay. Let's see. I haven't made a glacier turquoise in my condensed ones yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go in and just specifically those spots where it kind of lifted. I'm gonna go in and see if I can kind of push the dye in and kind of layer it up a bit. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But you know, you try things and you just see what happens. It's just an egg. We're not doing, you know, brain surgery. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, you know? Okay. I spy with my little eye 17,000 whips. I'm kind of intrigued by this one and feeling like this one needs some attention. And we can keep going with that one. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the fun. That's kind of the fun. Right? It's your big reveal. It's your magic trick. Okay, that one's going in my bosom. Now, if I was going to hello, hello, hello. Hello, friends. What is your color? The light beige, the nail polish, the blue? What's your color? Which one? Yeah, it does kind of. It does kind of. I remember making those when I was a kid in school. That was very much what they kind of look like. Thank you. I'm just trying to fully decide on I'm trying to decide on what exactly I want. I need a pencil first. I need to pencil some stuff in. Just gotta check some stuff. Here we go. We got a nice sharp pencil. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. There we go. So I hope everyone is doing well. Half of my province is on fire. Literally and figuratively. We have an election coming up at the end of the month. Yeah, it kind of does look a little bit like a dahlia. Do I like this? Yes, I do. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother penciling in the whole thing. We're just going to wing it. Because why not? I think so. I think. Mosaic, stained glass, something, something. You know? The original color was... Let me get out the one in my shirt. This color. It was the darker brown. So I did all of these lines in that darker brown. Now it's been etched back. Actually, you know what? It needs to be warm for the wax to adhere. Who knew? We're gonna likely have to switch them out all night, so don't mind me. I'm just gonna keep switching back and forth between my eggs. You guys just voted. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Result was not what I wanted, but oh well. I think that is also what's going to happen for me, except that we're going to end up losing our beautiful publicly funded healthcare. And it just feels like there's so much more riding on this election, and I don't think it's going to go the way I'd like it to either. And I think it's going to have really disastrous consequences, but yeah, it's, you know what it kind of feels like? You know how there was a lot of people in 2016 that genuinely didn't think that Trump stood a chance, and they were genuinely surprised when he won? I can feel all of my more progressive people that I know, I can feel them all doing that. Like, they don't think Danielle DeSantis, as I've taken to calling her, could possibly win. And I'm like, you are in an echo chamber. You're not talking to people that are not like you, and so of course you think she can't possibly win. I mean, I'd love to be surprised by my province, but he didn't win. Your whole elections and the electoral college and all of that, that's a whole other can of worms. Yeah. Yeah. I've done that before too, taking a white egg and putting in, like, especially I feel like maple syrup is one of the Ukrainian egg dye colors that I feel like give it really nice brown. Yeah, that whole the electoral, it's confusing. It's very, it's one of those things, like, you can tell there's like a lot of things that need updating, but the powers that be are benefiting from how things are right now, and they don't want to change it. So it is what it is. Yay, fascism. I don't know. Newfoundland? Maybe you can secede to Newfoundland. You know what, Hannah? I think you would enjoy British Columbia. I think you can hook up with British Columbia. I think you'd have a lot of fun there, quite honestly. I think you'd have a great time just becoming part of British Columbia. I feel like you'd meet your people and you'd have a great time. I think it would be good. I think it would be really good. I mean, there's always Manitoba. There's always Manitoba. Minnesota, Manitoba, you know, it's similar. That's awesome, you finished another painting. Hooray, hurrah. According to that TikTok guy, it would be easier to buy a literal castle in Europe than finding housing in Canada. Well, yeah. Vancouver, BC, especially. Yes, Vancouver and Toronto, basically. Although, honestly, the rest of this frickin' the rest of this country is not far behind. You can buy a literal castle in Europe. For the same money, you can buy an absolute rundown shack in Vancouver and Toronto. It's an actual thing, which is hilarious and insane when I think about it. Hilarious and insane. All right, I like how that's looking. Our egg is looking good. Oh, thank you. Your color is the teal. The teal is beautiful. The teal. I forgot Manitoba was a province. You know what? Sometimes that happens. I might want to buy an abandoned house in Japan, maybe, LOL. Honestly? Oh, I've seen those. That's been a TikTok I've seen as well. A little corner of TikTok is abandoned homes in Japan. I would go for the abandoned homes in Japan over the shack in Vancouver or Toronto, to be completely transparent. I would take the abandoned house in Japan. 100%. Rent is, yeah, it is insane. Someone wanted for a completely gutted house. There wasn't anything in it, just the studs and wiring. Wow. Wow. Have fun at work. Have fun at work, Scott. Yeah, 300K in Vancouver would get you, I don't know, a cardboard box. A literal cardboard box. I wish I was joking, but that won't even get you a shed. More space and less traffic at an abandoned house in Japan. Plus, you might have ghosts. Like the real ones, the real spooky ones. You know? You might have soot sprites. You might find soot sprites at the abandoned house in Japan. I feel like the abandoned house in Japan is like no contest. I like that. I think I shall do that on everyone. You can do ghost hunters in your own. You can make it a whole YouTube series. You can make bank on that. An entire ghost hunter series on your YouTube channel in the comfort of your own home. What considerate ghosts. In this economy, so considerate. So considerate. Helping you with cheap housing and a revenue stream? So considerate. So considerate. Wow. They got a house just under 100,000. Now it's barely a down payment. That's wild. Doing piss and K with my ghosts. Come hang with me and my ghost friends. Yeah, it's really crazy. I'm like, surely this is the peak of the bubble. Surely this is the peak of the bubble, but I feel like I've been saying that for like 3 years. Surely this has to be the peak of the bubble, and it just keeps on keeping on. I've actually heard of this thing happening in Japan. I feel like it's happening in China as well. I could be wrong though, or maybe it's happening only in China. I don't know. I should look this up before I talk about it, but it's this thing where like there's lots of women in their like 50s and 60s, like 5 of them will get together, all single, and they'll just like pool their money and get a house. And they're like getting these homes in like these remote areas and fixing them up, and they're just living there, and they have their little garden, and they have a bunch of cats. And it's just 5 of them all living together, just having the best time. And I just think that sounds really lovely, and I love that for them. He keeps asking when we're planning to move, and I just asked, and I just laughed. Get him on Zillow. He can just like scroll through Zillow and just look. Just get him to download Zillow and be like, we will move when you can find us a decent place to live within our budget. And anytime he asks you that question, be like, I don't know, what's on Zillow? Check Zillow. And he can just look at how goddamn expensive everything is. I've already come to the conclusion my kids are probably going to live with me for the rest of time, which I'm okay with. Set up themed rooms and maybe charge small fee for people to come visit. Oh my god, like a bed and breakfast with theme rooms. Oh my god. Okay, so north of me is Edmonton. We have West Edmonton Mall, which for a long time had the claim to fame as being the largest mall in the world, but now I think there's one in Dubai, I believe, that is larger. But there is a hotel attached to the mall, and they have themed rooms. Like, you can get like the truck driver room, and like the beds are like bunk beds, and they're like, they look like semis, and like it's a whole thing. And there's like, of course, like a Grecian room, a Roman room, an under the sea room. Like, there's all these like different themes. Wouldn't that be kind of fun to go to? Like, oh, do you know what would be amazing? Is if there was like this cute little bed and breakfast in the middle of nowhere, and every room was like a different themed room based around like different Studio Ghibli movies. Like, there was like a Spirited Away room, and there was like a Ponyo room, and there was like a you know what I mean? That would be fun. Someone needs to do this so that I can come and stay there. Yeah, so why is he wanting you guys to move out if you're helping keep them afloat? Like, really? Apparently a lot of people in the US are buying houses with their friends because it is cheaper. Honestly. Well, that's like what these women in Japan are doing, right? They're just 5 or 6 of them are all getting together and pooling their money and just living life. Honestly, why not? I think it's a great idea. If we get a house not too close to the city center, it could be quite affordable, I think. Honestly, not too close to city center is probably quieter as well, isn't it? Like, that wouldn't be a... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of hustle and bustle. I like more calm and quiet. Though, depending on public transportation. Because if you're gonna live further away from stuff, it needs to have good transportation. Oh, Jamie, my heart is with you. That is not easy. Good luck to you. I'm sure it's gonna go great. We're out of Mercury Gatorade. Hooray. Holy cow. Oh my god. Morgan, we're all moving to Thailand. We're all moving there. Somehow I was watching stream like 20 minutes behind. I was wondering, but I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, huh, I thought maybe like you went away and did something and then mentally responded to something and then remembered and came back, and I wasn't questioning it. I wasn't questioning it. Soot Sprite room, Kappa's room, under the sea, Ponyo house. But that would be copyright infringement. Only if they find out. Yeah, as long as it's close enough to public transportation, you're all good. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That is one thing I feel like where I live that we're not great on is public transport is kind of wow wow. And like when you live where, you know, in winter the air like hurts your face. Good public transport is really important. doing? Just want to have a check. Just want to have a little check on it. I don't think we are unwaxing tonight. That might have to wait until tomorrow. I gotta do a little layer on here, and I have to just let it dry overnight. Because some of my paper towel accidentally brought some up over here. So we're just gonna cover it. I'm being very finicky with this, but it's my egg, so I'm allowed. Tis my egg. I do what I want. Kind of went from Dreamcatcher to Crystal. It kind of did. It's nice. A 5-minute walk from the subway station from where I am. That's so nice. Trailer place in Joshua Tree that has different themed camper vans that you can book as hotel rooms. Why is Christina catching comments so late? My town, not even an Uber. Yeah, it's the smaller, more remote places. It's known for being horrendous. Same as in Canada. Same as in Canada. SkyTrain station. Ugh. How we do not have a high-speed rail system between Calgary and Edmonton is beyond me. There's a few things we've needed for a while. Johnny Depp has stayed there before. Oh, not surprising. Not surprising. That would be really fun. A themed camper. Camping in Joshua Tree would be pretty intense, I feel like. It's got to be really pretty there. I bet. I'm going to be honest, I don't know the whole history of Joshua Tree other than it seems to be, you know, a place where hippies seem to congregate. That's kind of all I know about it. The choice of Alberta. I have such a looming sense of dread about this election at the end of the month and what it means for my province. There ain't a damn thing I can do about it. So you've got lots of options for transportation. So one thing about living here, they do make it nearly impossible to work or go to school and, you know, generally have like a regular life if you don't have a vehicle and drive. it kind of sucks. Your life is made exponentially more difficult. Hasn't a cult-related thing happened there? I feel like one has. A Joshua Tree? Or Alberta? A Joshua Tree or Alberta? You need to you need to specify. You need to specify. Because honestly, either one. We have 2 off-leash dog parks where I'm from. And I can't take Ruby to either one because nobody that goes there trains their dog. And it just ends up being a free-for-all. And she ends up getting whipped into a frenzy. And the last time I went was last summer, and it was such a horrible experience. It's always the same thing. My dog's friendly. That's great. Can you get your dog to stop jumping up on my child? It's a whole thing. Joshua Tree, but now that you mention Alberta. I think... The Manson family, were they linked into Joshua Tree in any way, or am I just making that up? I feel like I remember reading something, but I could just be completely making that up entirely. Isn't that Death Valley though? Maybe? I know there was some story of them living out in the middle of the boonies somewhere. Like essentially camping out. For some reason I thought it was Joshua Tree, but I could be completely mistaken. I know the vague details around that whole thing. Because I kind of purposely... don't want to know. Like, I know enough that I get the gist of what happened, but I've never really looked into, like, great detail on that case because, oh my god. Horrific. Barker Ranch. Oh, okay, yeah. I think you're right, Morgan. I think you're right. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're correct. Like I said, I'm vaguely aware of the details surrounding that, but I purposely try not to learn too much about it because I need to be able to sleep at night. They were in Death Valley? Okay. I'm trying to get this stained glass stuff to come through. Trying to get it look a little more stained glass and a little less dream catchery. Not that there's anything wrong with dream catchers, I just don't know if I necessarily want to put them on a piece of artwork. Being mayonnaise and all. Graham Parsons cult. Is that in are we talking Alberta or are we talking Joshua Tree? Most remember, yeah. No, they did a lot. They did a lot more than just the Tates. All I remember about Joshua Tree is that some say it's a body dump. I think there's been lots of stuff that's probably happened at Joshua Tree over the years. It probably has a whole history before we even showed up. We being mayonnaise people. So, Emma, hello. Yeah, appropriately. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get it to pull more stained glass than Dreamcatcher, because this looks very Dreamcatcher. This decidedly less Dreamcatcher. I feel like it, like in school, it was something that in every elementary school, it's something, I feel like it still happens, where it's like, we're gonna do a craft project, let's make dream catchers. No mention of indigenous culture whatsoever. Okay, we're doing that now? Okay. I feel like that still happens. And Joshua Tree? Graham Parsons cult. That's ringing a bell. But Boopy, belated happy birthday. We're just talking about cults. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. You're 20 now, right? You're no longer a teenager. You're a whole 2 decades old. Like the singer Graham Parsons. Is that why I'm recognizing the name? I think I'm gonna stick to stained glass. The question is, do I want to do a different design in each one, or do I want the same one? Or do I want the same one and maybe different colors? Maybe that's what I'll do. Ooh, maybe that's what I'll do. You don't like it? 20 was a hard birthday for me. 20 was hard, and 25 was hard. Those two were really challenging. I did not like those 2 birthdays. 30 was great. 40 was not great because my cat had just died. But that's different. Go try boot, come to school. Well, see, now that's different. That's different. When you're being taught by someone that, like, that's part of their culture and they want to come and share your culture, I feel like that's totally different. Ours is just a teacher sees something on Pinterest and they're like, oh, let's do this. It's a different vibe. Oh, yeah, 22 was also rough. 22 was a rough birthday the way that 40 was a rough birthday. I didn't hate being 22 and I didn't hate being 40. It was just like extenuating circumstances during that time. But 20 and 25, it wasn't because of extenuating circumstances. I just hated being that age because I didn't feel like... I just felt very lost. I didn't feel like I was quote unquote achieving what I was supposed to be by 20 or 25. For some reason, those two ages is really where I kind of did a really rough sort of a internal downward spiral. You know? Thailand culture believes in running into lots of struggles when you reach 25. Well, I would have to agree because 25 was rough. 25 and 26 weren't great. But I hated being 25. I hated it. It was due to outside forces, extenuating circumstances. But I didn't hate being 22. I didn't hate being 40. But I hated being 20. And I hated being 25. Just felt like such a just epic failure, I guess. Oh, you know what I want to do? Isn't it funny, the stories that we tell ourselves? You know? Like now I look at like a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old and I'm like, oh my God, you're a baby. You have your whole life ahead of you. You can do anything you want. Oh my god. Like I get like almost like excited when I see people that young or hear of people being that young. I'm just like, oh, good for you. It's gonna be so great. You have so much. You've like, it's just gonna get better from here on out. It's gonna be great. But at the time I was just like, this is vile. I hate it. Make it stop. You're turning 25 in 12 days? Well, maybe yours will be fine. Maybe yours will be fine. Maybe, I don't know. 20 and 20. Was your 20th rough? Because if your 20th is rough, then maybe you got it out of the way. Or maybe it wasn't rough and you're not one of these people like me. Maybe you're just going to be great. Maybe everything's going to be fantastic. Was like living in the whims of that Mercury nuclear downward spiral for a few years. That is what my mid-20s felt like. 24 through 26. 27. Living in the whims of the Mercury nuclear downward spiral for a few. Yeah, I would say 24 through 27. That's what that felt like. Oh, that's so nice, Rita. Sierra, hello! A quarter of a century old and still barely lived. Oh, that's what I felt like at 20 and 25. I just felt like I haven't achieved anything. Just thought I was this huge failure. And of course I wasn't, but of course that was the story I was telling myself. Oh, see, Sierra. Sierra said 25 was great for her. So you know what? You might be fine. I know. It really is the best part, adding the wax to the Kisuke. It really is always, like, the best part. Yeah, by the time I got to, well, I was going to say, things got better for me once I hit my 30s. Me remembering having a newborn and a toddler at the same time. Oh, maybe not. It was just, it was a different kind of chaos. It was like same but different. Deep downward spiral into mom guilt and feeling like I was doing everything wrong all of the time. And being horrifically judged by everyone around me. You know, samesies but different. Oh, yeah. Minus the whole global pandemic rigmarole. Aww. It was about a decade of turmoil for me since 23 or so. Yeah. Relatable. We are talking about cults. Oh no, you were 10 minutes behind. You were 10 minutes behind again. Oh no, oh no. It is, it's like, I mean, you couldn't pay me to relive my 20s again. It was lovely. It was fun. I'm glad to have done it. I never want to do it again. I feel the same way about parenting young children. It was fun. It was a wild ride. I'm very grateful to have done it. I never want to do it again. You know? I think 25 is going to be great for you. I think 25 is going to be great for you. I was about to bounce if we were talking about cults. We briefly kind of mentioned it, but I can't really. Whenever that kind of comes up in like something that I'm looking into or some internet rabbit hole that I've fallen into, I kind of always have to go through the escape hatch on that one because I don't know. I know so many people that love and find listening to podcasts about that kind of thing like incredibly relaxing, but it just makes me anxious. Incredibly anxious. Realized I turned 38 in 6 days. Or is it 39? I also sometimes forget how old I am. Oh, I'm sorry you had to do that, Emma, but also I'm very proud of you for being able to do that. But that also sucks. Oh. I'm happy being just cat mama. Honestly, it's underrated. I know your birthday's coming up too. So many May babies. So many May and June babies. Egg cult is the only cult I want to think about right now, LOL. I mean, we jokingly call it a cult, but it's interesting to think about, like, guess I think we all like to think that we are not ever the kind of person that would get sucked into that kind of thing, but the fact of the matter is that if you think you're immune, then you're vulnerable. In my opinion. And the closest thing I could compare to is my kid's previous dance studio, which I realize is not a cult. You're turning 30 in 24 days. That's exciting. Logging more shipping and handling. It was the end of my shift. It was so much that I couldn't do it. Well, they keep pushing you past the end of your shift, which they shouldn't be doing. I stopped really counting my age since I hit 40. Yeah, once I hit around 35, it was whatever. That's kind of how I feel about it now. It's like, meh, whatever. I really had a job where I was allowed to do that, but everyone's been so lovely about it. Oh, good for you. See, you know what? And it's so funny, like, you're probably, like, thinking about it and replaying it in your head, but, like, everybody else is, like, that's, like, not even a thing in their head. Good for you for advocating for yourself. That's a good thing. I'm a 95. Oh my God. I was in junior high in 95. It was kind of cultish. Yeah. Well, it's like one of those things where whenever you find yourself in a situation where you're having to justify a lot, and if you're ever in those situations where people who have left are kind of shunned, or if you yourself get shunned if you decide not to go there anymore, then, like, I feel like that's a red flag, you know? I feel like that's weird. But, yeah, just there was a lot of justifying the time commitment, and the financial commitment, and it was never ending. It was never, it was like always just one more thing, just one more thing, just one more thing. And the just one more thing list never seemed to end. You know, there was always just one more rehearsal. There's just one more prop we need you to paint. There's just one more costume we need your help on. There's just one more, you know, and then you don't mean to, but all of a sudden this dance studio was like our entire lives. It was our entire social life. My kids didn't have any friends outside of dance. I didn't have really any friends outside of dance. I mean, I had some friends, but I wasn't seeing them. I kind of didn't see them for like 5 years. You know, it's weird how that happens, how things can just, because it's always like a slow reveal, you know? It's always like a slow unraveling of all the things. It's never like they never kind of throw it all at you at once, because you'd be like, this is cray cray, and you would leave. So they don't do that. It's like this slow descent into madness, you know? Coming off a migraine and my brain is literally jelly. Oh, I call it the migraine hangover is what I call it. And it does. It makes your brain literal jello. I was feeling that way. She would have. Aww. Yeah, make other people do the math. During chat earlier in the day, I just couldn't do it. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, when you've tried advocating for yourself in the past and it hasn't gone well, you get a little shy about doing it, but it's good to have those experiences where you advocate for yourself and it goes well, you know? Just one more thing. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. Okay. Oh my goodness, friends. I am yawning. Why am I yawning so much? I think I might actually need to end the live and go to bed. This guy needs to dry overnight. Let's see if I can get him. Will you focus? Maybe. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Hang on. Let's see if I can get these in focus. Yes. There we go. So he needs to dry overnight before I de-wax, because I need this deep blue to stay. It's already kind of, I might have to layer it and do another quick dip just to, but she needs to dry overnight so I can layer it properly. I think, but I really like it. I love this deep blue. It's so pretty. See, you just need to like stick your egg in glacier turquoise for a few days and just forget. And then here we go, this guy. So we have Dreamcatcher, but not really. It is gonna be stained glass. I like it. I think it's gonna be quite pretty. I'm gonna do a lot of my condensed dyes like Sojio does on this one. It's gonna be, I think, my experimental painting all my dyes on egg is gonna be this guy. I want to see what I can do with that. It does totally feel like a hangover. It's terrible. Holding a conversation, holding a thought in your head for more than 5 seconds, forget it. Math? Absolutely not. Not happening. That is the one thing when I'm in a migraine or I'm getting over a migraine, the thing that hurts my head most of all is high-pitched sound and trying to construct a sentence. Those are the two things. Trying to construct and say a sentence out loud makes it so much worse. I couldn't tell you why, but it is like incredibly painful. Just immediately sends me into the 7th dimension of hell. I don't know why. Yeah, that's what Sojio does. I've made all these little where I did like a tablespoon of vinegar and the dye packet, and then added a couple tablespoons of water, so it's like super condensed. That's what she does, and then she paints them on with a paintbrush. And I want to be like Sojio. I am the Wish brand Sojio, so I gotta try it. So okay. Oh, Emma, we're proud of you for advocating for yourself. Boopy, if you are still here, a belated happy birthday to you. Sierra, it is your birthday tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. Very exciting. And, my gosh, so many May babies. So many May babies. I love it. She's so talented. I could watch her stuff all, I can stare at her Instagram for like hours. I'm pretty sure that's happened before. Contact with light is okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Everybody else, I hope you have a lovely evening / rest of your day. I will be on the Twitch tomorrow night with the tarot cards. We'll see if Boopy shows up or Sierra shows up. We gotta do at least one birthday reading tomorrow night. For sure. That's gotta happen on Twitch. And we'll do our regular weekly tarot. And, yeah. Have a good Tuesday or Wednesday. And hydrate, medicate, wash your face, brush your teeth, all the good things. Stay well, wash your hands. There is a stomach flu going around. I'm very in tune with that. Remember to wash your hands. And I will see you on the Twitchy Witches tomorrow night. Bye.